Welcome to be in the garden, to be in nature. I trust you're well. I certainly am. Welcome to be in the garden. I have literally got hundreds and hundreds of bulbs. I think about 1,600 bulbs that I've been meaning to plant out for forever, but I just haven't gotten around to doing it. So today is the day. I trust you're well. I certainly am. It's a very chilly day in January. It's a very, very chilly day, but nonetheless, um, I would like to get these bulbs planted out in various different areas around the garden. Um, I'm not even sure I have a perfect plan, and often in gardening there isn't such thing as a perfect plan. But my intention today is to plant out these bulbs that I should have done really before now. Some of the bulbs, or many of them, are crocuses, or do you say croci? It's or plural. And let me just bring a couple close up to you. If you stay there. The bulbs are, let me just open up this pack actually. Are still perfect. They're still absolutely perfect. They have, however, the bulbs have actually started to protrude, and that's the growth part up here, as you can see, and then the basal or the base plate. I'm going to try and plant these out today, and I've done that before actually, where I've purchased bulbs in bulk, and they have started to grow somewhat, but once they're underneath the ground, they'll just shoot up and start continuing to grow. So I don't really have a problem with it. The bulbs themselves are still really very firm. I'm going to get these into the soil as soon as I can, hopefully today, and we'll see as they grow for spring. I recently planted out some white hellebore next to the Betulus, Jack Montiara, the white silver birch. And I'm just thinking that actually these, the white crocuses, could look lovely neutralized underneath this space area here. So that's my plan, to plant the white crocuses, or do we say croci, underneath this bench area here. With the daffodils that I have, these are ones that grow to 10 inches high, or about 25 centimeters high. I'm going to plant these in this container here. For the multicolored mixed bags of croci or crocuses, I'm going to plant them as I did with some a few years ago in my lawn. So these ones are going to be planted, to make them look as if they're just neutralized in the lawns around the garden in different places. That's what I'm going to do with these ones, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Because there are so many of them, there's absolutely no way I can plant them one by one, and so I'm going to show you how I plant those in masses. But let's start off perhaps with the white croci, or the white crocuses. I've got to find out, is it croci or crocuses? We shall soon find out. So how I do it when I have so many bulbs, rather than planting them individually, which can also often look very, what we've got a lovely bee in there, as to be expected. See the bee in the hellebore just behind? So yes, rather than planting the bulbs individually, because there are so many of them, I just use a shovel, as hopefully you saw, to scrape up the first layer of the lawn. And then I simply throw the bulbs in from a slight height, so that they're not all lined up in a row. Otherwise that looks a little too contrived. And I simply, when they fall, they may fall to their sides. What I'll then do is just simply turn them upright where they are. Got a bee buzzing behind me. I'll add a few more in there, I think. And to be honest, if I don't turn them up right, it doesn't make too much of a difference. It simply means that they will grow. They might take a little bit longer as they look upwards towards the sun. So I don't know if you can see from there, but I've got the bulbs sort of scattered, some of them bunched together, and they're just in the front of the hellebore. And all I'm going to do now is the lawn that I peeled off, I'm simply going to roll it back on top. Just roll it back on top. Some of the lawn here is a little sparse, but I'll just fill that back just by rolling that back onto the bulbs. And that really is it. A little bit here that's a little exposed. And that's it. I'm going to do a few more underneath the bench. So again, I'm just going to peel back the soil, flip it over, and I do that because I'm planting multiple bulbs at a time. Otherwise, digging a single hole at a time is just going to be incredibly time consuming. Flip the bulbs up the right way up. And when I take the top of the lawn off, it's probably about 2 or 3 inches beneath. And that's it. I'm going to come onto this side of the bench and do the same over here. Because I recently planted the hellebore, the soil here is actually quite a bit disturbed anyway. It's not going to be so easy to peel it back. So I might have to just do a slight dig in here and just throw the bulbs underneath and then just lay the soil back on top. But where I'm into the lawn slightly, I might be able to use that same technique I do, just to sort of dig underneath the layer of the lawn and peel it back, throw down the bulbs, and then just peel the grass that the lawn that I peel off, just let it roll back on top. So we'll see how it works. So just peel back the lawn. Turn the bulbs to face upwards towards the sky. And again, 1 or 2 I might miss and not actually turn them upwards. And it doesn't matter so much. It might just take them a little longer to find which way is up. But they need to grow upwards towards the sky. There are 1 or 2 there that look a little mouldy, but I'm leaving them in there anyway. And if they materialise, well, that's wonderful. If they don't, well, I tried. So that's the bulbs for the most part, facing upwards. I'm going again, if they are on their side, they will still turn and look for the light, so they will still come upwards. So that's the bulbs. This one I'm going to move only because it's on the edge where there isn't much soil that will cover it. Okay, and it's quite as simple as that. I'm simply going to, as if to backfill, roll that back over. Do the same with this. Roll it back over. And the same here. Now what I will do as well, for the sake of the squirrels, I'm actually just going to put some netting over this until I see them starting to grow through. I'm just going to gently walk on here. I want to make sure that the bulbs are making contact with the soil. So I'm not putting my whole body weight on there at all. So I don't want to damage the growing area. Just making sure that the soil is pushed down around the bulbs. And then I'm actually going to just throw an old net over it just to prevent the squirrels from digging them up. Got an old piece of mesh here. Just going to place it in that area, that general area. I'm also going to go and get a piece of netting as well. Okay, an old piece of netting. Got a few leaves tangled in there, but that's not my worry. Just going to actually, if I lay the netting down first, because the netting's a little lighter. And when I plant bulbs, I usually do that at least for the first year when I plant bulbs, just to make sure the squirrels don't get the best of it. Okay, I'm going to get ready to do the daffodils now. I'm going to prepare to put the tulips in this blue container. However, you can see that there's one single drainage hole in here, and I need to try and ensure that the bulbs themselves don't rot away. Bulbs do have a tendency of rotting if they are sat in water. So I'm just going to put, some old broken tiles at the base to ensure that the hole isn't blocked, just by covering it with what we call crock, or broken pottery, or broken, stones and aggregates, stuff like that. And then I have a compost mix that I have from my garden that I've made over time, and I'm simply just going to use some regular compost and place into the base of that container. It's a large pot. Some people like to add a little bit of grit or perlite, something to make the soil a little more draining, or even some sand. But I don't have either of those things, so I'm just going to place the compost as is into the container. It's about 2/3 full, approximately. So with the container about 2/3 full, I'm going to now put the bulbs in, and I intend, hopefully, to really overwhelm this container with bulbs. Again, the particular bulbs I'm putting in here are these, and the only reason why is because these were on an amazing offer in the garden centres just before Christmas. And as I've said before, it's often a great time, maybe not ideal, but certainly a great time to buy bulbs, because at the Christmas time, the garden centres need the space for the Christmas decorations and Christmas trees. So I've sort of formed a habit, if you like, of going to the garden centres around at Christmas time, because I'm almost guaranteed to find some bargain with bulbs, particularly because they have to be planted out. There's nothing more the garden centres can do with bulbs. It's a hassle for them to plant them all out and take care of them. Although some of them do, they plant them out, take care of them, and then we'll sell them to the customers in springtime. But of course you'll pay the price for that, because you're not only paying for the container and the soil that they have to put in it, but also the time that they've taken to grow them along. And then you buy them in spring as potted tulips or daffodils or any other bulbs that you buy potted. But I find buy them at this time of year and get them at a great price. I wonder if there'll be too many bulbs in this container. I don't think so. Never have too many. I want it to be a very wow effect based on what I have. I have them already. So let's see. I know sometimes they say to space bulbs out, but these are literally going to be touching each other, I should imagine. All I'm going to do is have them facing up the right way. This is going to take me a moment. So unlike the crocuses that were sort of scattered with some gaps and making it look as if they just grew naturally, this will look a little bit more contrived, I guess, because they are literally touching one next to the other. Bulbs can rot away if the container or the soil that they're in is not free draining. So yes, it is a good idea, or it can be a good idea, to add some grit in your pot mixture. But because I don't have any, and I had quite a good saving in purchasing these tulips, I don't particularly want to then add to the cost of it, really, by having to go out and buy in particular soil or grit to mix with it. I'm simply going to take advantage of the offer of the tulips, use the soil that I already have, and hope for the best. Okay. I think this will look quite pretty though. Not quite. I think these will look incredibly beautiful once they show their full display. I'll be sure to bring you back to show you what they look like. But for now, let's just get these into the container. And yeah, it's nice. It's pretty much filled the whole pot. All that's left to do is to top it up now with some more compost to ensure that these are about 3 inches beneath the soil, more or less. There we go. Well, that was fun. They're all more or less facing upwards. Now to simply top it up, with some more compost. may need to get a little bit more compost. That's it. Another job done. I'm going to place this piece of metal chicken wire on top, and again, just for the purpose of preventing things like foxes or squirrels digging them out. So I'll place that in there until I start seeing them grow. Okay, now to get onto the ones that I'm going to put into the lawn and neutralize. I actually do already have some crocuses in this lawn, but I'm just going to add some more to it. So I'm hoping, because I can't really see where they are currently, I'm hoping I'm not going to dig up what I've currently got in the lawn. But as before, I'm just going to use my shovel and lift up the lawn. Lift up patches of lawn. Throw in the crocuses, and flip the lawn back. That's all there is to it. Smell the lavender above. Yeah, beautiful. It already smells gorgeous. And then flip the room back. I'm planting some of the crocuses with these flower pots near the beehive. I actually put some moss on top of these. Does that look lovely? Like a carpet of moss. Looks so beautiful, so beautiful. So I'm just going to remove that. Got a sniffy nose, you have to forgive me for that. Listen to the birds. It's winter, it's January. It is cold, it's a frosty day, it was a frosty morning. So the birds are out here keeping me company. I can feel the breeze on my cheek. I can feel the air, the wind. It's just beautiful being out in nature. At this moment, it really is my place. More than ever. Listen to the birds and the wind and the rustling of the leaves. Just taking deep breaths, just one breath at a time. I appreciate being out here. I appreciate being out with nature. I appreciate that I have this space to be able to be those of you who, like all of us really, certainly most of us, feel sometimes life can be very challenging. Might not always give you all the answers you want to the questions that you have. Maybe just being in nature could find those answers. Sometimes we don't find the answers directly. You might find the answers indirectly by just reconnecting with nature. I need to go and get some soil just to top this up. I'm going to go and get a little bit of compost. I'm just going to top this up with a little soil, not too much. And then I'm going to put this beautiful layer of moss back onto this container. And I think that'll be beautiful, seeing the bulbs push up through that. I think that'll be lovely. Okay, just going to carry on. You can stay and watch with me if you'd like to. What I'm going to do is a second and then the third container. So this one, because it's a little bit higher, I'm actually going to take some of this out so that I can quite easily roll, so that I can quite easily just throw a packet of bulbs onto that without having to dig into a little hole. It's actually easier if I simply lower the level of this container and then feel that. It's good to get your hands in the earth, get your hands in the soil, and definitely know it is healing. And so I'm just going to take off the first few inches. And I can drop the bulbs in. It's a slightly larger container, so I think I probably have 2 packets in there. Sorry. And let's pluck the moss. I will again on this side put a little netting over this as well to prevent squirrels and foxes from digging them out. Listen to the birds. still have hundreds of bulbs to plant, but for now, I thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me. See you in my next video.